I'm Aaron Sagers, and this is Talking Strange.
Hello, spooky nerds, and welcome to another chat at denofgeek.com, talking about all things paranormal pop culture, and hosted by yours truly. I'm Aaron Sagers, a journalist, author, researcher of all things weird, and currently I can also be seen on Paranormal Caught On Camera on Travel Channel and Discovery Plus. And we have season 5 on the way, so keep an eye out for that one. Wednesday, January 26th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we have season 2 coming up of Resident Alien. Now, I talk a lot about a lot of weird stuff, and I love this show on so many different levels. You probably already know about it, but SyFy's Resident Alien follows a crash-landed alien named Harry, whose secret mission is to kill all humans. And season 2, no, it's not a spoiler to say, by the end of season 1, he did not accomplish that mission. And in season 2, he is once again stranded on Earth. He must confront the consequences of having failed his people's mission to destroy the human race. And on his new quest, he is maybe even setting out to protect the people of Earth and still struggle to hold on to his alien identity. And according to this awesome trailer for season 2, we see that Harry, and Asta, played by Sarah Tomko, go to New York City, and hijinks ensue. So, the gentleman at the core of this show, who plays Dr. Harry Vanderspiegel, both in human and alien form, is Alan Tudyk. Alan Tudyk, I'm fortunate to say, this guy, I've known him for well over a decade now, I think, through various Comic-Con interviews and panels and whatnot. And you know him from, of course, Star Wars Rogue One, from Frozen, Moana, Wreck-It Ralph, all across the Disney sphere, from the crowdfunded Con Man series, from Dodgeball to dramas like 42 and Trumbo, and also in Encanto, which just recently came out. The guy's in that one there. Firefly, he's all across the board. And now he is in season 2 of Resident Alien. And without further ado, let me bring this gentleman in. Alan Tudyk, how are you, man?
Hey, how's it going, Aaron?
It's going great, buddy. Good to see you.
We got the memo, the green shirt memo.
I know, right?
Good.
Happy New Year. I don't know. Can we still say Happy New Year on January 10th?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, Happy New Year.
I'd say we got at least 4 days.
Yeah.
To still say Happy New Year.
Larry David might disagree, I think, based on Curb Your Enthusiasm rules. But, well, first thing I want to ask is, I know it was an interesting production on season 1 of Resident Alien, because if Chris Sheridan was telling me, I think you guys were heading into the finale, and that's when COVID hit. You had to shut down, and then you came back later. Is that a correct assessment of it?
Yeah, we had one more episode to go, but it wasn't even one more episode, because we shoot double episodes. We shoot 2 episodes at once, so we cross-board them. It's almost like you shoot a movie every 3 weeks plus 2 days. And we had basically a week left to go. And we all shut down for 6 months and went away. And it all came back together. A little heavier, a little world wearier, like everyone.
How is it actually? How is it filmed? I mean, have you wrapped entirely on 2 now?
No, we've actually shot more this season than we shot last season up to this point, because we've done 10 episodes, and last season we did 10 only, but we had the pilot already done, so we only shot 9. We shot 10 so far. We're on a little break, and we're about to go back to shoot the final 6, hopefully, because they upped it to 16 this year.
Yeah, and congratulations. For you, obviously, you've worked on so many different projects, a lot of films, but how has the experience been being on top of the call sheet for an hour-long series, especially one where you are doing double duty because you also do wear the alien hairy mask at times. I know we also have you work with a body double as well, but you're in the mask too. How has this experience been of shooting 10 episodes of a TV series and now 16?
Right. It's challenging. It really is. It's more than just going up, your name going up on the call sheet and you becoming, it's becoming number one, as they say. It's There's a lot to it. People, seems like people care what you think more, which is not necessarily a good thing. You you have to be careful. You can't just be, people listen when you talk, so you have to be careful what you say. I mean, there hasn't been a problem, but it is something I've noticed. You have to take care.
Mhm.
Like, why is everyone listening to me? I'm just talking. I'm not used to people actually caring what I have to say. Um, it's that this season we have no body double. That's been
Okay.
that has been a thing. They've made it's 2 hours for the makeup, and my body double in season one would basically come in whenever he would have to do, whenever you see Harry in reflections. Uh, if I look like me, the reflection of Harry, whether it's in like a mirror or a window, will always be the alien's reflection, as a sort of reminder that he's this
Mhm.
alien. And we would have Keith, was my body double. He would come in and he would sit in the chair for 2 hours while we shot other stuff, and then he'd come in just to do the reflections and stuff like that. Or there was a funny dream sequence that he was part of. But this year they have a pullover mask that I can just put on for reflections. It's not
Mhm.
as perfect as the other one, but if it's just reflections, it works. So we haven't had to. It's been pretty much me doing rubber face,
Okay.
and it's fine. It's fine. I really like the mask. I think it's a really good one, and it's fun being the alien because I'm usually with the kid, and he's usually so nasty with the little boy. It's fun to play bug-eyed alien.
Well, we spoke before, I think, about how you already have this experience with your roles of playing characters that are not human, they're humanoid, with androids, things of that nature, and then how Harry is having to learn how to be humans. But now we're a human, and now we're in the second season. He's still processing these emotions. He's not a human. He's still an alien, but he's a little bit further along on this weird journey. So how did that impact your performance? Because you're a little bit more human now than
Right.
before.
It's all part. It works its way into the script in a good way, where Harry, towards the end of the last season, was, as he stayed in his human form, was beginning to get human emotions. He's like, it was infecting him, and he didn't know how to deal with it. And now this season, it's just more so. He's becoming more infected with humanity, and he doesn't like it. He's losing himself, and he's losing his identity, and so it's a big driver of the character this season. So as it happens, uh, it's something he's talking about and worried about and
Hmm.
trying to counteract. Um, but it's fun. He feels emotions almost like a kid does when they're just children. They have big emotions. They haven't figured out how to regulate them yet, and um, he's the same. He he just, when he feels a new one, it comes on strong, and he's
Hmm.
caught off guard. He does not like it. Uh, so there's a lot of that this season. It's funny. It's fun.
Well, and looking back a little bit on the first season, I think, a lot of people that are watching this are fans and have seen the finale. So this isn't really a spoiler, but looking back on the first season, we have this shocker that, you know, Harry was involved in sort of this driving action of the entire season. And Chris Sheridan, your showrunner, said that you, Alan Tudyk, were the only one who knew this twist throughout the season up until the final, the table read for the final episode. How did that impact your portrayal at all? Because it was, you were playing alien Harry for most of it, but did
Right.
that impact your portrayal?
It did only in the flashbacks, and so I got to play, you know, alien Harry. So the guy that the alien takes over, he becomes alien Harry, who speaks in his own way. But when there was flashbacks, when you see me meet my wife, originally meet my wife in the past, and then I have a few scenes with myself where there's alien Harry having a conversation with a hallucination, the dead Harry, the
Zombie
rotting
Harry.
corpse. Yeah, the zombie Harry from down in the cellar, in the freezer, on ice in the freezer. Um, it affected, you know, he wasn't a nice guy, you know, so he could be a nasty person, and he doesn't like the alien anyway. So you know, it's all in there. But you know, he's being nasty to the alien because the alien killed him, and he's also sleeping with his wife now. So he wasn't nice.
I will say, after that finale, I went back and I looked at the pilot when we had the first scene of human Harry being startled by the alien, and knowing what you know by the end of the season, when you go back and you look at that first season, it's a really nice nuance because it does track, it fits, you know. So kudos to that. We, you know, it's been in the trailer. We find out that you and Asta, and it says in the promotional materials that Harry and Asta go on this side quest to New York City, which is interesting because human Harry, we already know, has practiced medicine and lived in New York City. Plus, last season we encountered Terry O'Quinn in this guest role, who his child was abducted in New York City by aliens in 1991. Feels like there's a lot of threads that are being pulled together here.
Yeah, man. Well done, sir. Yes. This storyline where we go back to New York is actually in the comics. It borrows from the comics. The comics, if anybody is a fan of the comics, you know that the show is not direct, just comic made for TV. Chris changed several things, but the character and Asta stays the same. The comic is more like almost like a cop show. So he always seems to be just solving crime a lot, and you always see him as the alien. He's always the alien. You don't ever see him in human form. But this one comic, they go to New York. So if you know the comic, the New York comic, then it has something to do with that. It's a fairly close translation, and it's really fun. It's really fun. It's my favorite one of the comics, that storyline. So it was cool to get to do it.
Were you able to shoot that? Was that shot in Vancouver, or did you actually get a nice little trip to New York?
We shot in Vancouver, and we would have been able to go to New York if it wasn't for the disease all over the planet. There's more disease in Times Square than usual, as you may have heard in the news. But surprisingly, I've lived in New York. I live in Vancouver mostly now. I've never at once been in Vancouver and gone, you know, this is like New York. I've never thought that ever once, not even close. But when we switched it up to New York, there's some really cool spots in Vancouver that play as New York, and they found them all. So I think it's going to work.
Well, I've spent a lot of time in Vancouver, and I live in Brooklyn. So yeah, I've not looked. I mean, maybe if there was a deep clean of New York, it could pass as Vancouver. Maybe
part of it is throwing trash around.
Yeah.
such an indictment of New York. But
Yeah, if only people, you need more background actors that are a little bit more rude than.
Well, also, like every black person in Vancouver, it's like as your background because it's such a white city that it's like, oh, it actually is feeling really good. It's like, it's like a better representation of humanity suddenly.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
I will say
was,
if you haven't been, you've got to go to the Shameful Tiki Room in Vancouver. Great tiki bar. I would highly recommend it. Well, actually, yeah, with this show, I mean, just because I don't get the sense, and I don't know that this is not going to be a show that's now spending a lot of time in New York City, but it does feel like with Linda Hamilton and with these other things happening, it feels like the world is getting a little bit bigger, but it's still a show about this character in Patience, Colorado. Are you finding with you and Chris Sheridan and the writers, is that a bit of a balance of how to expand without losing that core?
I wonder. No, I mean the world this season kind of comes. We do leave Patience, but the world starts to come to Patience also. So it's visiting. The world is visiting upon us, and not just the world, the universe. Uh, so
Well,
beyond. So and Harry's connection to the human race is through Asta. So he won't be leaving her uh, unless he can find a new spaceship, I guess, and go home. Um, but he hasn't found one yet.
you're dropping some spoilers there. I wasn't going to say anything, but you're dropping some spoilers there. Do the other person? Well, the other entity that it seems like we met in season 1 was an octopus voiced by some up and coming actor. He's not very well known, but it seems
Canadian actor.
Yeah, Canadian actor. It seems like he's teased in the trailer. We'll be spending a lot more time with this blue octopus voiced by Nathan Fillion.
Yes. He's back this season. Harry needs friends. He needs friends, and he's got a connection with the octopus that lives at the Chinese food restaurant in the tank and is awaiting his death sentence when somebody orders the octopus. Yeah, so he's going to be in it, and there's some really fun stuff with that character. And this season, last season, whenever we would do Nathan's stuff, it was I would have to talk to an empty tank, and
Right.
This season it's they made a silicone octopus, and they were puppeteering the thing with fishing line and strings to make his tentacles move, and it's so great. So it's going to be a combination of both things. And talking with the puppet Nathan was truly one of the best things I've had a chance to do.
I know we're running down on time, but something that I really appreciate about this show is, first off, the idea of UFOs and aliens is front page mainstream news anymore, with intelligence reports being declassified, especially heading into season 2. Did that kind of impact the verisimilitude of the show? It's not exactly sci-fi when Congress is releasing these documents.
Right. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I think that's with the audience. I bet it does hit in a different way. I think pretty much our cast uniformly are believers.
And Chris Sheridan
book.
is definitely like a UFO nerd.
Right. Well, he saw one. He had an experience on his honeymoon where he full on saw this massive ship. I can't even imagine how much that would ruin your honeymoon, but then also, like, I don't know how you go on after that. It just seems that would just so Explains why he's such a twisted individual. But yeah, um, there's a book that he had us read called Communion. Do you know
Yeah.
this book?
Yeah. Whitley Strieber. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. What the heck, man? I can't. So it's about abduction. It's about a guy who had some hypnosis and was
Yeah.
regressed and then like stumbled upon all of these abductions. And it is horrifying. So if you buy into this book, which is very easy to do, it's very convincing. I, I don't know, man. I don't want these aliens around. I
No,
don't
this is
want
where
them
we
here.
get the probing idea. Is from that
Yeah,
book from
yes.
Communion.
That is where that's the source. That's the first.
It's what really kind of blew it up in the mainstream.
Well, there's a lot of people who have had these experiences, and there's a lot of people have had these experiences, and they happen. So I don't know what it's going to lead to. I guess we'll see. Maybe we won't see. Maybe we won't know. I would love if they decided to come and help in different ways. But it's, I think it adds some credibility to the whole thing. It's not just like a story about that crazy chupacabra, which I'm pitching to Fox. That crazy chupacabra.
Zany adventures of a crazy chupacabra.
Yeah. Who killed all the chickens? Chupacabra.
Well, you come.
Ay,
I
ay,
mean,
ay.
you come from a town where you from Plano, right? Like,
Yeah.
you got stories of Goat Man and this thing called the Zodiac Rider.
What?
Oh yeah,
In
it was like
Plano?
this. Yeah, Plano. That was like a phantom woman that distributed candies or something. You don't know your urban legends from your own hometown, man?
Nobody told me any of that. No. It was
You've heard
just
of Goat
drugs.
Man, right?
It was just like an ecstasy place where people sold drugs. And kids had problems coping with early drug use.
It's not urban legend, just sad urban fact.
That was just, you can read the police reports on that one. It's just sort of the effects of urban sprawl. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about all of those things. I was skateboarding. I don't know. We just all we cared about was skateboarding. We didn't care about really anything else.
Well, I feel like someone in the audience is now going to send you a book on like haunted Plano or the urban legends of Plano. And you should read them. You should know a little
The
bit about
things,
where you came from.
wow, the things we were the most afraid of were the football players. I mean, they were an immediate threat. There was nothing made up about those guys. For some reason, they did not like skateboarders. And I was also in drama, so that's two huge marks against you. That's all kinds of bad. So you've got a skateboarder who on his weekends will put on makeup. So that's oh my God. That is it's victim number one. But no, I don't. I wish I had seen it. I've never seen an alien. Have you?
I've seen. I saw something. Well, I mean, I talk about this stuff as part of another part of my job, right? So I've seen weird stuff, but I've never had that moment of like that was an alien. Boom, there it is.
Right. Yeah,
But we've done enough Comic-Cons where I wonder, I mean, people come up all the time and say that, like, when you're back to Comic-Cons, especially with this show, you're going to be getting those stories now from the fans.
I hope so. That is a shame. I mean, there's so much that is with the rest of the world fed up with all of the COVID and saddened by it, and I miss Comic-Cons most of all. It's just this big, huge thing that used to happen in my life all year long. We go to all these cons all over the world, and all the people I would see. And this show has come out during the COVID days, So I haven't met this new group of fans. Yeah, I can't wait to see them and see. That's one of the great things about going to cons is people bring up different art that you've never seen. Uh, art that's inspired by the art you're making is always great. And then you meet people that can become friends. And then you, like you said, hear stories that influence the art, which influences the art. I mean, it's part of the thing. It's the thing. It's the best thing.
Well,
And I can't wait.
Yeah, and I'll say Layal here. Actually, she is from Blue Sun Interpreting. They do some of the signing at Comic-Con, so you probably run across her. But they miss you at cons too. So I'll tell you what, it's going to happen. I'm really excited, especially for this show, because when Comic-Cons are back in full force and when you're back out there, I just have a really good feeling that this show is connecting with that fan base. And I certainly dig it. I've seen the premiere episode. I really enjoyed it. So
thanks, Aaron. Thanks,
yeah, man.
Yeah.
I know you've had a long day of junkets. I'm going to let you go, but Resident Alien Season 2 premieres Wednesday, January 26th. So that's right around the corner. And I'm sure we'll have a chance to chat again for a little bit longer sometime soon.
I hope so. Yeah, because we're doing 10 episodes, and then there's a break, and then it's like we do the last 6 that we're shooting, that we're about to shoot right now. So it's almost like 2 premieres. So we can talk again, if not before then.
Dude, I look forward to it. Alan, hang out on the backstage for a second, and I'll be right with you, buddy. And that is Alan Tudyk, Resident Alien, hell of a great guy. Just I've said it before. I truly, sincerely think he is one of the most fascinating actors working right now because of the range that this guy exhibits. And I think you see all of that on display in Resident Alien. So you definitely need to check that out. Guys, thank you for joining for this chat. Do not miss Resident Alien when it comes back. And you can catch up with all the episodes right now on SyFy and I think Peacock. So check all of those out. And wherever you are, be safe, take care of one another. And we will be doing this again shortly. I think we have another guest announcement right around the corner. So watch this space. So stay weird, my friends.